All right. Says we're live, so we're going to trust it, and we'll just wait for some people to come in. Notifications generally go out pretty quick. So if you watch YouTube, scrub ahead until you see something happening. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, I think I got it set up. So we're good to go now. We'll just wait for people to come. What the heck? Okay, looks good now. Okay. Just get my other computer set up so I can see what you guys see. And again, if you're on YouTube, just scrub ahead. Usually takes a couple minutes. And if notifications don't work, we're screwed. That's pretty much that. Okay. What the heck? I can't believe people aren't coming in. Maybe I'm not seeing the chat. Okay. Hey, LeJan. Got to see your Cadfael book again this morning at Dee Dee's. It's always awe-inspiring, I have to say. You must be first. Can't be. You're asleep usually. Well, you're not today. It's good. Sometimes YouTube is really slow with the notifications, so it takes people a few minutes to come in. But worries, the number's rising right now. So, but yeah, that book you sent Dee Dee is a work of art, undoubtedly. And then Dee Dee has to go and show a bunch of books. And books are my weakness. Hey, Devin. Cheese. So today I thought, in mention of the Scavenger Hunt, which I will actually launch at the New Year's Eve Streamathon. I thought I'd go ahead and read it again and let people maybe jot down some notes and maybe get a head start. So, hi Christy. Hi Nancy. Okay, it must have gone out. I know. Enable. When she goes to the bookstore, that's what she should title her stream. Hi Auntie Mame. Hi Anne. Anne, I think you are just prior to me on the Scavenger Hunt, or the New Year's Eve Streamathon. Hey Dee Dee. We were just talking about you being a miserable enabler with all your books this morning. I wish I had a Barnes & Noble closer, but mine would be probably 85 miles, the closest one, 85. Hey, Jennifer. Good to see you. You're watching on your TV. Nothing wrong with that. Hi, Jane. So, yeah, if you're coming in late, I was just telling the people that were already here that I'm going to participation of the Scavenger Hunt, which will be launched midnight Central Time Zone, New Year's Eve. I'm going to go ahead and read the list again, and I might call some, I might add some, you never know. And if you take quick notes, you might be able to get a little bit of a head start. But I'm going to get a head start by I think, I'm almost certain, well, it will be whether it is or not, one of the prompts is to get some art from a fib. So I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and do some dangle monograms or whatever. Here's an example of one that I've done that I have not sent yet. So that some of the fibs who are going to participate can hopefully get some fib art in the mail and be ahead of the game a little. Hi, Mindy. Bread bag tags. Is that one of them, Devin? Yee. I'll have to read that again. Hi, Dorothy. Because my bread comes with wires. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jill. Hi, Barb. I think I said Dorothy. So, was bread bags? Oh, well, I'll find out and read through them, but we'll give people just a minute to come in. And if you weren't here last week, I did go ahead and show the number Zentangle list that I put out on Instagram. I finished mine early, so I did it in a poster. And last week, I took you guys to go look at Devin's on her Instagram, because she combined multiple prompts and did cats and incorporated these designs into the pictures. It was so good. I just still am mind boggled about it. Hi, Christine. Hi, Debbie. So that is done. I do have a list. A couple people had asked me, am I doing a January list? I do have the January list. And I might just go ahead and put it out early because it's all done. Let's see. It's in my little book here. Okay, here's the January list. And I hope I got a good mixture of, a lot of them seem to be border patterns, and then others are more like fill-in patterns. So I try and get a good mixture, and most of them are designs I have not drawn before. So I might go ahead and just put the January list out early, so if me and got done early, you have something to start working on. So yeah, so this one's ready to go. And I've not done the list for the scavenger hunt yet because I really haven't called it to see if there's stuff that I want that down. What are you writing down, Dee Dee? 25 CAD files? I hope you're writing that down. Anyway, so I got the Zentangles done, and then sometime over the whole Christmas vacation, if you follow me on IG, you saw this. I did go ahead and finish the marshmallow guy that Kathy had showed on her stream. I have to say, she does a paint along. She did it in acrylic. I did watercolor. So if you watch her, you get an idea, and she does give you a link to the actual drawing, so you can, you don't have to draw it if you don't feel comfortable drawing, and then paint along with her. And it's Kathy Arbor's channel. And this was so much fun, you guys. It really was. I'm going to probably crop it down because I don't like all this crap on top. But I'll probably crop it down. Yeah, that's watercolor. I don't paint acrylic. My mother was an acrylic painter, and I have a sister-in-law who's an acrylic painter. But I have never painted a picture in acrylic in my whole life. I don't know. I think I could. I think in a lot of ways it's easier because you can just cover up your mistakes and try again. Where watercolor, when you commit, you're committed. You ain't going back. So, hi Leanne. Yeah, this was fun. And the little guy is so cute. So I don't know. I'm going to ask Kathy if she minds if I trim this down. Thanks, Dee Dee. If I trim this down and actually use it for my Christmas card next year, because this little guy I really love. I love him so much. Thanks, hi, by the way. So yeah, if you ever watch Kathy Arbor's videos, she's a really good instructor. And she took art in school. So I mean, I think she things maybe a little bit different than those of us who do it as more of a hobby and didn't take classes. I took a few art classes and they're pissed me off, frankly. So, hi Val. Hi Elaine. So, Linda, I announced earlier, I will be releasing the list for the scavenger hunt during my time frame, which is midnight, New Year's Eve, and I will give you a link to the list at that point. I am going to read it off quickly today, and if you want to take some notes and to ahead, cool. Yeah, Kathy is a gifted teacher. I would agree, Jersey. I learn an awful lot from her. Approach things, I think, a little bit differently. Like, I would never think to use, of course, she's painting in acrylics, so she has that advantage. But I would never think of altering pattern paper to use as my background. Fabulous idea, and she is excellent at it. But I would never think that. I always think of pattern paper as something you scrapbook with, or, you know, I mean, I've altered it to make journal covers and stuff like that. But yeah, she does actual paintings on hers, and they're fabulous. So yeah, she's amazing. But then this is what I'm doing today, is I'm going to do some dangle letters so that people who are going to participate in the scavenger hunt have some art from a fib on their way. Collage with, yeah, the Dee Dee collage with it. Hey Scooby-Doo, thank you. FIBS, thinking outside the box. Yep. Anyway, so I'll run down quickly the list. I'll give you a minute to get some paper and pencil out so you can get a head start if you want on the scavenger hunt, but it will not be released in its final form until New Year's Eve during my time slot, which is midnight Central Time Zone. What was it, Dee Dee? 11:30, no, 10:30 Central Time to 12:30. And I will be drinking scotch, but I won't be drunk. Maybe. Hey, Dar. It's good to see you. Hey, Galena. All right, so get your paper and pencil out. Hey, Kathy's just bragging about you because I showed this little guy. This was fun, and I appreciate you doing that. I really do, Kathy. Of course, I appreciate everything you do. Normally, when Kathy's streaming, I'm arting. I'm trying to art along. Yep, we'll get to ring in the new year. Well, Amy's doing well. I saw her this morning, first time. I've talked to her, of course, every day, I think, since she had her surgery. But this morning, her and her husband brought me my iced coffee. And so I did get to chat with her, and she's doing well. She really is. She said it might be a little bit too early to be out riding around in the car, but she's doing well. And it was just good to see her. She looked good. She really did. So anyway, if you've got your paper and pencil, let's go over this real quick. And these are in no particular order. I might change them before the final thing comes along, but we're going to have about 100. Okay? Thanks, Linda. Okay, ready. I'll try not to go real fast, but you know me. Okay, a page of swatches, food packaging, page about a fib, kind of like what Dee Dee showed this morning. She does entire books about fibs, but you would only have to do a page. So a lot that don't stream, it's either going to be probably somebody you've met in our chat, which I hope is true, or a streamer or whatever. Dee Dee will get picked a lot because we know a lot about Dee Dee. That accident you told about this morning, Dee Dee, I had never heard that in its complete story. That was horrible, and you absolutely have an angel who loves you very much. Candy wrappers, a page of pink, postage, a greeting card, a ransom note, cartoon character, a quote, nature or leaf or, just something from nature, junk mail, napkin, book page, dryer lint. That one might get scrapped, Elaine, because that's going to be a pain in the butt. Playing card, washi tape, toilet paper. You can afford to use your toilet paper for art. A coffee ring / stain, lipstick, headline from your birth year, pattern paper, a photograph, a jelly print, spices. I was writing these down. Some of these I don't even remember. Favorite non-art supply, a coloring book page, stickers, vintage car. Okay, it's on the list. I don't know. That one may or may not stay. Tea bag, thread or stitching, a paper bag insert, add a tip in, add a pocket. Now those three are all very similar, but we may keep them. Feather, an inked up page, circles, alphabet letters, lyrics from a song, shoe polish, envelope, matchbook, blow ink with a straw, wrapping paper, tickets, butterflies, a maze. A maze is going to be fun. Lace, ribbon, dried flower, create your own map, a dad joke, money, posts, useless random facts. That one is always fun, you guys. The useless random facts, that one is fun. Hang on, I can't read my writing. Wonder what that one is. I can't read it, so it probably won't end up on the list. What the heck is that? Oh well. A miniature, something given to you, aluminum foil, a magazine image, wire, a handprint, gift wrap. So that one is a duplicate. That one comes off. Shoes, use a stencil, tea bag or a tea tab, a necklace or a chain, flowers, swapped fib art. That's the one I'm going to do today. A piece of fabric, but I'm going to do it for you guys so that you have art coming. A piece of fabric, a definition of a don't know. I'm going to pick a dirty one, I'm pretty sure. Zentangle, a pop top, a puzzle, you can do jigsaw, sudoku, crossword, any kind of puzzle you want. Your favorite animal, pop-up / 3D. That one will be fun and difficult. Favorite cartoon character, finger paints. I'm going to use this as my quote. Smell what I'm stepping in. Dee Dee. Something you can see through. Favorite toy from childhood. A miniature greeting card. Create a zine. A piece of a calendar. And actually that create a zine, a lot of you have seen Dee Dee show the cut and the fold. I will actually make sure that I show that New Year's Eve's, in case you don't know. Piece of a calendar, a talisman, string. Well, we've already used threads, so that one I'm not sure if I'm keeping. Postcard, domestic or foreign. Least favorite color, you have to use your least favorite color. An upside down page, which always happens anyway. Wild card, which is your choice, you can do anything. A crayon page, melted or not. I think that was in honor of Mary Autier. A rusty page, a band-aid, what you wanted to be when you grew up, 5 senses, something repaired, clean up a mess with a page, favorite artist page, painted envelope. Well, we already have an envelope, so I may or may not keep that one because we actually have more than 100. Draw your breakfast, something found, something out of style, ugly shoes. We've already got shoes, so that one's probably going. Blackout poetry on a book page, and I'm going to have to probably show you guys what that's all about. Is a black and white page, a pet or an animal, jewelry box, used, unused supply, favorite quote, we've already got that one, use a button, a glitter page, a safety pin, a rag flag, treasure map. See, so we have a lot of these, and they're very close, very similar, or duplicates, so I've got to call some of them out. So all of those may not end up on the final list. First need to kidnap the neighbor's dog and leave a ransom note. There have been some really, really funny things. And I would encourage, I'll probably do a hashtag Scavenger Hunt 2020 with Janet or something, because last year we used hashtag Scavenger Hunt, but there were other people doing scavenger hunts for like real life things. So the photos got all goofed up. So I'm going to have to come up with a hashtag that is specific to this project, so all of ours are kind of together. So, yeah. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of idea of the kind of things you're going to have to do. I think New Year's Eve what I'm going to do is actually make the journal that I'm going to do my scavenger hunt in. And I'll show some of the prior years so you guys can get an idea of how I got it. The thing about it is there are no rules. These are suggestions. You have to complete every one of them, and then you tell me, and then I will come up with a prize that I hope is something fun and worth having, right? You're going to use one. I did that one year, Brenda. I used Sister Woman's Traveler's Notebook for the scavenger hunt. Hi, G. Brody. But yeah, there's like if you can't find one of the items or whatever, you can draw it. You can bend the rules. That's part of the whole idea here, is that you get as creative as you possibly can to satisfy one of the prompts, right? You won a couple years ago? Cool. I don't remember who's won in the past. I can't. But I know that one year, oh geez, I'm having a hard time. Crafting Mama in Hawaii started doing it, and she saw her people doing it, and then a couple of the other streamers kind of jumped on board, and it was really, really fun. It really was. So I hope you're in for some fun. I do it. Last year, I did not even finish my own scavenger hunt. I think I had 3 left that I didn't get. But all of these things you should be able to find around your own house. You don't have to leave home. If you need some, ask another fib, because that could satisfy 2 prompts, right? What are we talking about? Middle-aged women making bad choices. That's like the story of my life. Devin did it last year for the first time, so yeah. So now I think I'm not sure how I'll pick one person out of chat, and then I'll let that person choose the next person, and I'll just do an initial, whatever initial you ask for. I'm going to do them on these little cards because I'm a hoarder. Oh, which reminds me, I almost texted you over the weekend, Dee Dee. Did you guys see that Curiosity Inc. bought another hoarder's house? OMG, I have totally binged. Quit sending me notifications for him, and I love him. He's a guy who lives in Edmonton, Alberta, and a few years, well, maybe 2 years ago, he popped up on my suggestions as I bought a hoarder's house. Now, I don't know. I kind of think Big Brother is listening to everything I say because I talk about my being a hoarder, and that's what got me thinking about this. Um, Clicked on it. Well, pretty soon Dee Dee was watching it, Gene was watching it, we were all watching it. And it turned out that the hoarder's house that he bought turned out to be a potter who was quite famous in her own right. And but he was going through all her stuff in her house, and it was a hoarder house like you see on TV. Well, he bought another hoarder's house. I did, Dee Dee. I had to binge it all weekend. That's what I did. Is I sat here and arted and binged Curiosity Inc. Yeah, he's been fined silver dollars, and he found a whole 100-ounce silver bar under a mattress, and clothes. This woman was in high-end clothing, and I've never seen so much clothing in my entire life. And he bought the entire contents of the house for $10,000, and he sold the clothes for $10,000. And now he's just having to come up with some profit for himself and a whole wad of bills. Okay, Leanne is watching it too. 15 $100 bills be found in a roll in a Disney glass in the kitchen. We actually did that when we cleaned out Robert's mother's house. We were cleaning because she got dementia real bad, and we would find crazy stuff everywhere. She got in the habit of tucking money everywhere. And we found $600 in her kitchen cabinet. So here's my free advice to you. If you're ever going to break into a house and you want to just take money, you don't want to take their stuff, just money, go through the kitchen cupboards. That's where people put all their money. Yeah, and he gave it to his worker friend. Yeah. So the YouTube channel is Curiosity Inc. There are some fun characters that come and help him, and it makes me feel good about my hoarder tendencies, and I'm not really a hoarder, but like what made me think about that, I went down this morning to look for some cards or something that I was going to draw on today, and I found these Strathmore kind of like just their announcement cards with matching envelopes. And I remember when my mother and I bought these, okay? They were on sale, $2.90. I was with my mother the day we bought them. I still have the ones she bought because she never used them, and I had never used mine. So I thought, okay, this is the first step dealing with my hoard, right? And in Bibles, yeah. So check the freezer. All they'd find in mine is freezer burned food. I hide no money. I spend what I have at craft sales. Duh. Yeah, I do try and keep some money in my house in case the bank shuts down and I can't go get money. So anyway, I'm going to just go back through here. And this can be international people, so I'm just going to pick Leanne, and I hope I'm saying that right, as the first person, and then Leanne, be thinking somebody after you, and I'll go ahead and do your initials. And if I pick you, or if you get, you're going to have to email me your address, and here's my email. You're eating and laughing at me? Tell bye. I was late to your stream because I was looking at illuminated letters. Illumination is my favorite card, Kathy. I have beautiful, beautiful illuminated artwork books. I should get those out. I should torture you like you torture me all the time. You hide money in a cleaned out almond milk container in my fridge. See? Brenda is on it. Cold cash. Oh my gosh. All right, Leanne, do you want me to do just an L? You want an LA? What do you want? Buddy and Dee Dee are having crock pot roast for lunch. Doesn't that sound good? I did make goulash this weekend. And I'd like to say it came out really good. I think it would have if Robert hadn't bought weird ass noodles. Yeah. You like LA? All right, let's pick out LA. The back of this book, I'll flip through this book real quick, so I'm sure some of you have seen it, because I've shown it plenty of times. I love it. It's just little doodles that anybody can do. In the back of the book, they give you the whole alphabet, upper and lower case, and I generally use those just so I don't have to think too much. Then a glossary of all the different kinds of dangles. This is like really basic drawing, and all of you can do this. I promise you. I got this book at Hobby Lobby on sale, and I will say I have definitely gotten my money's worth out of it. Yep, I'm going to do the dangles with your initials. So you'll see in just a second. I'm just going to flip through the book quick. This is like mindless doodling, but your envelope is really cool looking. Let me show you again. You're going to get an LA that looks something like this. Probably a little smaller because the card's smaller, but I'll do my best. I'll do what I can. But every time I show this book, I'll bet Amazon is sold out. People really like this book. All right, so I'm going to do an L and an A. Okay, so what, Val? Would it be possible for you to make one general card that is specific to you and put it in an email for us to print for us to add into our Scavenger Hunt book? Sure, Val, I could do that. I'll check and see if I can't do a Google Doc as well. I'm sure I can scan it and get it in my computer somehow. Okay, you can either start with a oops, do that jacks with my lighting, sorry. I'm going to put the focus, you freak out here. All right, let's get busy. I'll quickly, yeah, it's going to be smaller, but no worries. Really sketch it out quickly to just make sure that my my spacing is good, and I can make any little adjustments I need then. And then I'll ink it. All right, and I'll try and not get too quiet when I start drawing. That's a problem I have, is when I start drawing, I get really, really quiet. All right, Leanne, your job now is to randomly somebody in chat. You guys could maybe help her by saying whether or not you want to participate in the Scavenger Hunt, kind of what this is about. I didn't even ask Leanne, but I'm assuming she is going to participate. Well, the pencil that I'm using is the Graph Gear. They had a great deal on these on Amazon. I think it was the Black Friday deals that they were doing. You got 3 different sizes, the 5, 7, and the 9, for so cheap. I did talk about it when I saw it, because it was really, really a good deal. But they're draft gear. And the thing I like about them, you can draw with anything, but the thing I like about these particular pencils is these little dots on the, I don't know, what do you call it, the shaft, are rubberized, but the weight of them is just so perfect in your hand, and that's why I like them so much. All right, here we go. And then the pen I'm going to use is out of a sampler that I bought from Jet Pens, which is a slice of heaven on earth. And this is called a Pilot Drawing Pen in .03. It is permanent, so, yep. Okay, Debbie. I'll be talking about it, the Scavenger Hunt. Of course, it's open to everybody. I think it's a lot more fun when a lot of us participate. And the list will be available that night. It'll be a Google Doc that you can download. And look at, I'm drawing lines and I'm not using a ruler. Do you know how hard that is for me? You have that pencil, but they picked pink for you. Well, Kenny, hi, by the way. I'm sticking my tongue out at you. They picked out pink. Maybe they just are pink girl. Check out no ruler. I'm so darn proud of my bad self right now. Of course, after they're done and they're not straight, I may not like my well, but right now, I'm feeling pretty bad about my bad self. All right, we got the basic letters here. Now we'll start adding singles. Barbara, Chicken Pot Pie Society. Okay, well, it'll only be letters. I mean, I'm not going to do the whole Chicken Pot Pie Society thing, but I do happen to love that, and I'm sure there's a story behind it. And if she wants to tell you guys in chat why it's Chicken Pot Pie Society, I mean, really, is there such a thing? Sorry, not talking. Check and chat. Hi, Dawn. BK. Cool. Make sure that you get my email address. I'll get this little notebook down for me. BK will be my next one, which is Barb. All right. I wrote myself notes so I don't forget, because I'm really bad that way. Streaming, do anything stupid.
Stupid.
All right, and I'm not taking too long with any of these. I want to get through a few of them, right? Hey, CB. Yeah, everything will be posted New Year's Eve at the Streamathon for those of you. Dee Dee, if you have that link for the times of the stream, that might help everybody. A dangle a day, I have not, Dawn. Okay, and because I got these out because I hardly ever use these, and I waited to get these so long, you guys, because they're kind of pricey, and I didn't know how much I was going to use them. But they're really, really a Faber-Castell artist pens, and they got a really, so yeah. So I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to use those. But unless you like markers with fine nibs, they're almost too pricey just to buy to play with like I did, you know? But this is a good opportunity to use them. All right, so we're going to do blue and green because my favorite colors. All right, hopefully you guys can see. If not, I'll have to bring you down so you can see, because these get pretty small. Hopefully there's enough color, yeah, difference that you'll be able to see. And I'll hold it up when I'm done. I think Dangles came about I don't know if it was alt of Zentangle or what, but it all happened about the same time that I was starting doing Zentangle, that I found the Dangle books. Because it's a lot of just repetitive doodles or designs or whatever. Okay, I'm gonna, oops. I haven't been over to Jet Pens in a long time. Have you, Brenda? I think Brenda's the one who got me sucked into it was either Brenda or Kathy Berg, into the sampler packs on Jet Pens. Yeah, I love them. They offer samplers of, for example, all black drawing pens. And so you can order it and you'll get like 10 or 12 different drawing pens with permanent black ink. It's an awesome thing. And what were the other? Oh, I think the other ones are also a set I got from Jet Pens. I did not order these Faber-Castells from Jet Pens, though. I did get them from, I believe it was Amazon. So anyway, I guess I haven't been on since Christmas, right? We did absolutely nothing on Christmas. To us, it was just another Friday in our life, and I was going to cook. And Robert said, but it's Friday. And Friday is pizza and shaky milk night. And I said, do you just want to do regular Friday? He said, sure, that's fine. So we just did our regular Friday. Pizza and shaky milk, and I was perfectly fine with that. So we did not have a great big blowout or anything. Normally my brother would have come. I don't like that color, so I'm going to change it. But normally my brother would have come. Some of these are pretty dry. So I might use the other ones. Now this one's real juicy, so go figure. I try and repeat the colors a couple of times, so when it's all done it looks somewhat cohesive, right? And I'm pretty sure these are not going through, so that's a good. I wanted a nice dark green. Other good pens to use for this, and I almost just use them, and they're really some of my absolute favorites, are the Papermate Flare pens. For just doing color, those are some of my absolute favorites. And I keep them here at my elbow, so I can use them all the time. And now they make some really, really good colors in these. So yeah, Christmas was no big deal. I did, of course, get to talk to all my family on the phone and stuff. We didn't do FaceTime or anything like that, but just I did get to talk to everybody, so that was good. I was happy for them. And other than that, it's been lazy as hell around here, pretty much. Which might bother some people. Doesn't bother me at all. Okay, I want there's some bright colors in here. I'm going with all dark colors. And if you're doing them quick like this, I really would recommend just using colored pens rather than like watercolor or something. It's just quicker. Do I have a good yellow? Okay, we're getting really close to done with this one. Yeah, I like these colors. They're a lot brighter. All right, Leanne, make sure that I have your address. Email me. I will check it tonight. I will try and get these out like in the mail tomorrow. But that's pretty much what it looks like. Hi, Tracy. No big deal, but then you would have art to put in your scavenger hunt book. Okay. Next one up was Barbara, Chicken Pot Pie Society, and she wants BK. So let's do BK. Oops. I don't want that loop quite that big, I don't think. I'm freaking you guys out with not using a ruler. And if you're wondering if it's making me slightly nervous, I will admit I'd much rather use a ruler. But it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, the spacing's not horrible. Not great, but it's not horrible. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Tracy. Piece of Janet Young art. Oh my God. Just think your kids can someday put it in the trash too. There's my pen. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to have that one going over. Okay. My art was your first fib item ever? Cool. All right, that's not horrible, I don't think. Dry drop real quick. It was a dangle too, Jane. I think I remember that, Jane. And by doing it in pencil first, you guys, that's how, you know, if you're going to add, for example, that heart or this curly Q or whatever, if you've done it in pencil, you can kind of figure out what you want to go over or under, whatever. And then you don't have to go back and make corrections later, right? Oops, wrong pen. That would have been stupid. All right. Let's start doing some dangles. Got quiet in here. Oh, of course, I just learned this, but UPS guy had been gone for a long time, and I thought he had hurt his shoulder again. He stopped by to bring me a Christmas card the other day. He had coronavirus real bad, I guess, and was off work since the 1st of December. Of course, that's UPS busy time of the year, right? So he missed tons of overtime, but I knew he hadn't been around, and I couldn't figure out why he would take off December of all months, you know, to take off. It wasn't by choice. But it was good to see him again. Kenny, do it. It's fun. Bye, G. Brody. No, he's okay now. Yeah, no, he seems to be A-okay now. But he said he was so tired. That was the thing. He said he was just so tired he couldn't maneuver. But no, he said he was fine now. Doesn't seem to be anything linger or anything like that. I think it depends on whether or not you have comorbidities. And see, he had been sick prior to that. I think it's the comorbidities that get you. Huh? but he'd been having health issues before that, so I think if your health, but you know, when we talk about that, don't ever forget that there's a 99.9 something recovery rate. So there's no need to be scared to death unless you have comorbidities. In that case, yes, you need to seriously take care of yourself. But yeah, you can't go through life being afraid to live. You really can't. And I'd like to think people who have those comorbidities are being extra special careful. Robert and I, of course, are, is because he had leukemia, and because of his leukemia treatment, his immune system was compromised. But, I mean, we're probably more careful than most, but we have an advantage in that we are people. And so we can choose times of day to go out and where we go and who we encounter while we're there. So in that respect, we're very lucky. But hunky UPS guy. I don't even know what made me think of that, honestly. This, I'm going to test this yellow before I use it, because if I remember, it's kind of on the brown side, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Ah, no, it's okay. Oh, another thing, when we were at Dee Dee's talking about, she told that story of her going to Germany on an airplane, and I told the people in chat. I remember, I think I was 6 the first time. My parents put me on a plane by myself, and I'm sure they did something as far as putting, you know, a name, an emergency phone number or something on me. But my dad would take me to the airport, hand me off to a flight attendant, you know. I would fly from Denver to Tulsa, Oklahoma, commonly on my own to go see my grandmother. And at the other end, I think the flight attendant, at that time we called them stewardesses, would walk me off the plane, and my grandmother would always be waiting for me. I mean, I never thought twice about flying alone ever as a kid, and I never even really thought how it was until Dee Dee started talking about. I never went to Germany or had to change planes, mind you. But yeah, I did that commonly as a child. Flew on my own. Never gave it a second thought. My parents put me on a plane. I don't know what I thought, you know, that I was just so excited to see my grandmother They could have put me in a rocket ship and sent me, my dumbass, and if I thought my mama was waiting on the other end, I would have gladly gotten on that rocket ship to go to the moon. I'm not kidding you. I don't remember being afraid or anything. And I remember one time, if you live in Oklahoma, you're used to snapping turtles are everywhere down here. I mean, it like right now it might be too cold. If you look out in the lake on any given day on the bank, there's probably 10 snapping turtles sitting bank of the lake. They're just everywhere here. And I found one in my grandmother's yard, or it might have been at Granny Martin's yard. But I didn't want to give my turtle up, so I put the turtle in a box, and I took the turtle on the plane with me. And we had that turtle for a long time. And they hibernate during the winter. I lived in Colorado. They hibernate during the winter, and we put my dad wouldn't let me keep the turtle in the house, but we put the turtle in one of our window wells at the house, and that turtle lived in that window well for, I can't tell you how long we had that turtle. Turtles live a long time. Yeah, you can't even take a worm. Oh, we didn't have x-ray machines or anything like that. But yeah, I took that turtle home. I guess the turtle was okay and ate okay because there's lots of spiders and stuff, crickets, whatever, in the window well. And maybe my brothers fed them too because they loved this stupid turtle. I've had a few turtles in my life. I brought another one home, and David, the oldest boy's dog, bit into its shell. But yep, took a turtle on an airplane. All right. I don't know if there's the dark green. Can't really see that, so I think I'll do the dark blue. But it's funny, the things that we did as kids that kids nowadays you wouldn't think of doing now. We walked everywhere, rode our bikes everywhere. And yeah, you wouldn't, Steve Irwin fave was a turtle, Cracky. He was a fun guy, very fun guy. I didn't color in that bee very well, duh. I feel like I'm arting in the dark or something. Now I feel like I should tell you guys that I walked 3 miles to school by my uphill in the snow or something. Talking about the good old days. Was a really different time then. I kind of think it taught us independence, you know, like I wasn't afraid to do things. My parents would just send me out and say, sink or swim, girl. It's up to you. And generally we did, right? Another thing, too, that I think was real different back then than now is like our neighbors could punish just like our parents could. Like you behaved when you were outside because you knew the neighbors were watching you too. And the worst thing in the world that could have ever happened is if one of the neighbors called my dad to tell him I was acting a little jerk. My dad was going to take their word for it every time, I promise you. So you wouldn't think of being disrespectful to a neighbor or anything like that, ever. Picking out colors is the hardest thing, right? No, I don't think kids even know their neighbors. Alright, what color do I want with that green? Yeah, Johnny was not a saint from the moment he was born. That's the very truth. I don't know. I think the one thing, the biggest difference I see is we just really grew up more independent. Like, we solved our own problems. We didn't come home on anybody. We just solved our own problems. I was fortunate because I had older brothers. So if I had a problem, I didn't have to go to mom and dad. I just had to tell my older brothers that little Johnny was mean to me. And I don't think my brothers had to beat him up. I think they just threatened him. You do it again, you're dead. That's it. Now, my brothers could beat the hell out of me, but nobody else. Like, they totally protected me. But I was fair game. But I was a little brat. I will say that. I remember some of the things. I'll tell you a story I did to my brother. I may have told him before, but my brothers. But I picked on one of them more than the others. And believe me, we hated each other, Don and I. Now we're best friends. But we weren't always. I remember one time I looked out my bedroom window. I could hear him screaming out in the backyard. And my sister was pounding against the neighbor's fence. And I was so happy. Like, but we would have gladly killed each other. If we thought we wouldn't get caught. And he knows that I would have gladly killed him if I didn't think my parents would have put me in a box and shipped me off. I would have been fine killing him. But my older brother, he used to have a terribly, terribly weak stomach. And we had a chore chart, but because we were so crappy about fighting about it all the time, my mom changed the rules. And we had to sit at the dinner table until one of us would volunteer to do the dishes. Well, I was the most impatient, I guess, so I was always the one that would do it. But I always knew that the next day my brother was going to pay because he had stomach that all I had to do was open my mouth with food in it, and that was it for him. He was done. So he could never finish a meal because I sat directly across from him, and all I had to do was show him a mouthful of food, and for him, no more dinner. So when I could do that, I didn't mind doing the dishes. One night we got in a food fight, and I smushed peas in his hair. And he couldn't stand the whole idea of that. That didn't turn out well for him. And you have to remember we had 7 kids. Not all of us lived at home at the same time, though. So I grew up pretty much in a monkey cage. This white is not showing up. I mean, you'll see it up close, but you can't see it on these colors. I forgot to do highlights on Leanne's, so I'll do that here in a minute. That same brother, Gary, he's passed away now. Been passed away for a while. He couldn't stand the sight of blood. I know, Auntie Mame. Oh, I could make Gary so sick. And just outside Denver, in a place called Lakewood. But if you've ever been to Denver and been out there, when my parents bought the house, it was out in the middle of nowhere. Now it's just part of the city, but used to be it was a town halfway between Denver and Golden where the brewery was. Okay, there's BK, done. Make sure I have your address, Barb. I'll put my email in again. All right, and Barbara, you need to pick the next person. Thanks, you guys. I do miss Gary, because Gary and I, by the time we were teenagers, even though all through our lives we would beat the hell out of each other and do anything mean that we possibly thought we could get away with, yeah, we were the worst. But by the time we grew up, we did get to be very close friends, so yeah. But him wasn't nearly as bad as he had a traumatic brain injury. He had he was without oxygen for some prolonged period of time, and he had no short-term memory. And I think knowing that, okay, so Jersey Crafter. Laura, tell me the initials you want. If you want J for Jersey, if you want L for Laura, you know, a lot of that, it's ancient history now. I think the worst part is when you get the initial phone call and knowing that there was nothing that could have changed. But he lived another 11 years, I think. Maybe not quite that long, with a traumatic brain injury. And that was really hard. But you know, there were some things that he never forgot. Like the first time I saw him after his heart attack, I went and took him for the day. And of course, it was new to his wife, you know, so she was struggling too. And so I took him for the day, and we went driving, and I told him, wherever you want to go. Hey, Julie, is Laura here? I can't think of Laura's last name. Well, let's don't pick Laura because she can't pick the next person. So, yeah, short-term memory loss is really, really hard. But he never, ever forgot this street rotation in Denver. So I took him that day, and we just went driving. Went and saw my other brother, and while we were in Arvada, he said, let's drive by the old house. And it was like, holy cow. For him to make a suggestion like that was odd. So we drove, I made him tell me every turn to make, how to get to our old house. Sherry? S-H. Is Sherry here? Do you just want S or S-H? And so we went by the old house, and that was literally the last time I ever went by my old house. Because it just didn't seem. But then from there I said, well, I want to go to the art store down at, Meinigers, which everybody knew Meinigers. And I said, but I don't remember how to get there. Tell me how to get there. I called him Groovy. That was another really funny story, how he got the name Dr. Groovy International. But I always called him Groove after that. Tell me how to get there. He knew, okay, you want SH? He knew every move to make. And I remember when we got to, I went down 6th Avenue, and if you're familiar with Denver, that it goes from literally Golden all the way through town. And so I was going down 6th Avenue, and when you start getting into the downtown Denver area, it narrows, and the whole traffic pattern changes. Even though he couldn't drive anymore, he would tell me things like, okay, you need to get in the far right lane because the lane is going away. Now, if you asked him what we did 10 minutes ago, he could not tell you, but he could tell you that you need to get in the right lane because the left lane's going away in a minute. Stuff like that. It was just mind-boggling to me. The things he retained and the things he lost. Meinigers is still there. Yeah, I've been there. I still have family there. I've been there not very long ago. I took my niece Cooey there and her daughters. But anyway, I love Meinigers, by the way. They do have online shopping too. But after we did that, we went over to my sister's house. I was staying at my house that trip, and I was exhausted. I think I'd driven from Oklahoma the day before, 12, so I was exhausted. And so we went down in her basement and laid on the couch, and I turned on some reruns of Survivor. And then I think I went to sleep. And he sat there and watched reruns of Survivor. And next thing I knew, my sister had walked in, and she said, "What have you guys been doing?" And he started telling her that we had been on an island, and we had to eat bugs, and just he explained everything that had happened in Survivor as though he'd done that all afternoon. That converted into his real life. Then the next morning, I went over to his house again, and the Pope had died. And so when I got there, I was like, "Well, what do you want to do today, Groove?" And he said, well, we've got to go to the funeral. And I said, what funeral? What are you talking about? And he said, we've got to go to the funeral. And he thought that I was coming to pick him up to go to the Pope's funeral. And I could not convince him, as long as the TV was on and they were talking about the funeral, I could not convince him that we were not going to Rome to the Pope's funeral. Because in his mind, we were going to the Pope's funeral, no matter what. We needed to get ready. We got to go. Come on, we've got to go. What? And then he'd ask me and then finally, Donette turned the TV, and then of course his mind would go to whatever was coming up next. So after the TV went off, it took him a little while, but he'd still say, well, what time are we leaving? Gary, we're not, unless you want to go do something. Why? Well, we need to go to the funeral. But then after just a very few minutes, the TV was off. He forgot that there was a funeral that we're going to go to. But he could remember anything. The one thing he didn't remember that really, really broke my heart. Yeah, if you're going to go to a funeral, Julie, you want to go to the Pope's funeral mass. Yeah, he was funny. But the one thing he couldn't remember that broke all of our hearts is he couldn't remember that my mother had passed. So, I think that when the Pope died, it was either 2003, I think it was 2005. But he couldn't remember that my mother had passed. And so he'd ask me, he'd say, have you talked to Mom? And my sister-in-law would always try and correct him. And make him remember that Mother had passed, and every time she did, he would cry. And so I finally convinced her, so every time he'd ask me, have you talked to Mom? I'd say, Groove, I haven't talked to Mom in a while. I'll bet you've talked to her since I have. And then he would remember, the last conversation he had with Mother. So, yeah, I think if you're ever in a situation where you have to deal with somebody who's having short-term memory issues, that's the best way to deal with it, is don't tell them that bad things have happened. Does it hurt if they believe that Mom's still out there somewhere, she's just not with him? Because honestly, in 5 minutes, he's not going to remember anyway. So just don't upset him. And when we came up with that policy of don't telling the truth, it worked out much better in his life. So, but that is a whole different thing, dealing with somebody with no short-term memory. And it's harder for the people who are dealing with it than for him, because honestly, in 5 minutes, you could distract him just like you could a child. All you had to do was say, Groove, we're going to go out in the backyard and clean up. And he'd be like, okay. He was off to that. He'd forget everything you'd been doing or talking about before. And that was good. I mean, because in many ways, his personality was still the same. He was still funny as hell. I could still ask questions like, Groove, do you remember when we went to Alaska? And he'd say, I must have changed tires 1,000 times on... he could remember stuff like that. As long as it was something in the past that we did together, it was always safe. And he did change tires sometimes on that trip. Because we drove the Alcan Highway. And it had to be in about, let me think, about 1970, I'm going to say, is when we drove the Alcan Highway. And it was 1,200 miles of dirt road. So he changed tires daily. Let me see if I did that H the way I wanted to. Okay, yeah, that's the one that went behind. Okay, cool. But it happened so long ago, you know, other than thinking about memories that we have. Stuff like that doesn't make me sad, you guys. I think I'm more of a person who is thankful for what I have, I've lost, and I think that helps me. I'm just glad I had Groove to make throw up at the dinner table my whole life, you know? Oh, now the S that shook is really weird because it has a dangle actually going up. So we're going to do a dangle going up. I truly do belong on the naughty list. Of course I do. I am pretty certain that the naughty list was created for me. Hi, Michelle. You know, I don't think there was suffering, honestly. I don't think he suffered. Because he didn't know anything had changed. It was harder on his wife. But he was fine with the way he was. Didn't bother him at all. All right. Right there. That's the one. It's just the things life throws at you guys, you know? And I happen to believe that things happen for good reasons, so I don't cry over spilled milk, you know? Dried. The naughty list is short but sweet. Hey, Judy! If I have a nice list, you guys need to, like, come and get me and put me in a nursing home or something. It means I'm off game completely. Out of the 7 of us kids, there's only 4 of us left. See what we got going here. The pen's getting a little dry, which means I might have to buy myself new flares. That breaks my heart, I tell you. I love getting new flare pens. And they have so many cool sets now. You could also use the super tips for this. I should have gotten those out, because there's cool colors in them. Redirect and diffuse. These were some of my favorite pens. They were Sanford Espressos, and I've had a few of these won't die. Of course, I probably had multiples of them is why, but they were literally some of my very favorite pens. Really fine tip colors. Oh, I love them. Can't get them anymore. I've looked. If you can find them, let me know, because I would buy them again. I love them so. I think I will get, there's a real light blue in this Crayola Super Tips. I wouldn't mind playing with that. Bucket of pencils. I think this is a light blue that I really like. Yep. You guys saw the build that Dee Dee did? I've been meaning for like, I can't even tell you how long, 2 years at least, to build one of those to go on the countertop behind me. And I went and bought the blackboard, but I haven't done the build yet. And this weekend I decided I'm going to do another tray for my watercolor. because I need to reorganize that. So I've got 2 builds I gotta do. There's no such thing as too many pens. Julie's right. And counting them is against the rules, so don't get an idea about going out and counting your pens. That's a stupid thing to do. Don't do it. Kind of like rubber stamps. It's against the rules to count. Don't do it. Yeah, these are a lot quicker, and there's a lot more color selection. That one almost looks like I put it in the wrong cap. Nope. I thought I had a mark on there. I was going to say, oh no, I didn't do that, did I? I did. Another nice thing is these draw quick, so you don't have to worry about smearage or anything like that. I don't think I want that one green. Do some orange. Brighten it up. And I grabbed the wrong one. I've never been a fan of these scented super tips. The smell has kind of diminished since I had them, but yeah, I'm not a fan. I need a real fine tip for that. Hang on just a second and I'll read chat. So I hope you guys are doing something fun today. And this paper is absorbent that the colors aren't smearing either, which is good. Oops, got more up here. Not used to upward dangles. All right, Sherry, you're going to need to pick somebody out. All right. Let me. Oh, okay. I did that marker and set there. There's Sherry's. All right, Sherry, give me some initials. Or the next person up. Lisa, my eclectic life. So Lisa, you want one? Find them all. Do you want one initial or do you want two? Hi, Sharon. I'm going to make you a set, oops, of initials, but I can do just L or I could do two or whatever you want. The two are working out really nice. Now, if I did one, I would probably do it this way and much larger. So there'd be white space. So, what initials do you want on yours? Lisa, my eclectic life, and I'll need addresses for anybody that I'm sending these to, and just like Dee Dee, I don't addresses. So, you want just the L. Okay, then we'll do a different one. Just the L. And I will do it different position on the card. And when you email me, go ahead and, like, Lisa, I don't think I would forget, but tell me your screen name too. The dot after the M. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the period after the M in my email is critical. You get your email back in a minute. All right, so I want dangles going about from there down. course, I can do the L now a little bit bigger, right? So that's cool. I think I'm gonna do this L diagonals. Just one is kind of nice because you can do a little bit bigger elements, you know, you don't have to cram so much in. So I kind of like that. This one I'll do a little bit different. Okay, that'll look good, I think. I guess I could do one. Because I'm looking at it, and one, it's an even number of dangles. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Uneven is always better, right? So yeah, I think I'll do that. Go ahead and put one in there. cool. I like that. I'm okay with that. I don't like this curve here. All right, feels a little better. Thanks, Kenny. Oh, now this long L, I really would like a ruler for this, and it's so much better if I had one. But you get what I get. Glad that's done. Got really quiet, didn't it? Okay. Got the design done. You getting your comp book ready? Comp book is actually a really good idea to do it in. It gives you lots of real estate to play with. I like that idea. For real DDIM. I think I'm going to do the same size I've done the last few years, 8.5 by 11 folded in half. But a comp book is really, I think, a good format. And the nice thing about a comp book is you've got like zero. Oh, why did I just erase all my lines? I'll leave them now. I was in the zone. See, that's how I get when I draw, and that's why I don't often draw on stream, is because when I get drawn, my mind starts wandering, or I'm thinking, or yeah, it's not pretty, and it's not very, very entertaining. So I got to put my diagonals back. So I keep them somewhat the same size, right? That's good. They remind you of dream catchers? Well, that would be a good idea. I've used comp books in the previous year. And Kenny asked, did you have Robert steal Janet? Oh, no, Robert did not steal my rulers. Robert knows better than to come in here and tell me. Are you kidding me? If he even needs to write something down, it's like, do you have anything to write with? And honestly, this is sitting on my table at all times, okay? And he'll ask me, do you have anything to write with? It's like he knows better. Don't touch my crap. That will get your arms broken. And those are just my everyday pens, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going to try. Let's see, do I want to do that? Let's see. I'm thinking I want to leave some white circles. What did I do with the dang pen? Oh, there it is. I put it in the wrong place. Yeah, he knows better than to touch my stuff. He's a smart boy that way. And what's really funny is a few years ago, and I've always been this militant about my stuff, okay? Jennifer and Cindy sent Robert his own X-Acto and stuff because they knew he couldn't touch mine. Cindy Barnes and Jennifer, who's watching on her TV today. Yeah, Robert got a box of his own tools because I wouldn't share. And if you think I feel bad about it, think again. I do not. Doesn't bother me a little bit. I don't lose my tools. He does. And he'd pick up one of my pens and crush the tip, or yeah, he has no business touching nice art supplies. That's like putting a bull in a china closet. But in all fairness, I don't go out and jack around with his tractors either. You know, like his tractors are his tractors. I don't mess with them. I have driven the tractors, though, and I have driven the backhoe. So I could go around calling myself a heavy equipment operator, but I don't. But if I had to, I could drive the backhoe. In fact, I pulled him out of a ditch with the backhoe one time. And no, he wasn't falling down drunk. Hi, Debbie. He'd gotten his mower stuck in the drainage ditch at the farm in Bixby, so I had to pull him out. I just remembered, if you tell somebody you drug him out of the ditch with a backhoe, you might think they'd fallen down drunk or something. All right. I like blue and white polka dots. I get it, Janet. Joseph has ruined so many scissors, no more. See, that's just it. Like he would pick up my scissors and cut wire with it. That wouldn't bother him a bit. Not even a little bit. He would just do that and just go, whatever. Get over your bad self. All right. I'm still going to do the diagonals, but I'm going to do it the easiest way for myself. And hopefully that pencil won't smear too much. Now this one smells like lemon. Ugh. I hate artificial scents. But I always pick up the black ones because I know they're juicy. They're the ones I never used. And I am trying to use some of these up so I can throw them away. Some of them are marginal at best. But have no worries, I have a whole new set in the box waiting for me. Now this is one supply, and I'm sure Dee Dee would say the same thing. This is one supply I would not let myself run out of. That's how often go-to pens. Have they ever made a set of these, of the whole, what is it, 150 colors in the really fine tip? They do last forever. That's the cool thing. They last forever. And they're so cheap that when they start drying out, you can just throw that bad boy away and not even feel bad about it. I'm going to let that dry before I go back. Alright, green won't look like. Sometimes I have to think about, okay, if I use green now, is it going to look like Christmas or something? I don't want it to necessarily look like a holiday, or certain colors you put together evoke so holidays or whatever. And I just want these to be whatever. Every day, New Year's Eve colors. Just looks like circus colors. Cleaning up the edges is what I'm doing using this. Isn't that the truth, Brenda? Yeah, if my pen gets wrecked, I want to be the one to do it. Hi, Kath. I hope Kathy D. I don't know if the E is long or short. Well, I hope you do it this year. I think the prompts are pretty simple. You know, it's all going to be stuff you find around your house this year, you know, where you don't have to leave home, because the the virus, I don't want anybody having to go out of their house and put themselves at risk to get something stupid for the scavenger hunt. So with any luck at all, it's going to be stuff that you're going to have right around your very own house. And then you get to think up inventive ways of using it or presenting it. A lot of people don't. They just gather the junk and slap it down. I try and get pretty inventive and stir my creativity doing it, you know, like just, yeah, make myself think about how I want it to come out. But it's your book, your decision, your idea, and there aren't that many rules. The rules are collect all the items. There's going to be 100 this year. And notify me when you get them all done. That's the rules. And it's the honor system. I don't check on you. I might ask to show me page 32 or show me prompt 32. And that's how I verify that you did all the pages. I mean, it really is simple. Like, no rules. You do, boo. Well, Auntie Mame, the thing about a ransom note is, like, the first year we did, I had left numbers 48 and 49 off the list. And so I wrote a ransom note about that. But this year, I might write a ransom note having to do with common sense. Like, I would give anything in the world, any amount of money, if I could afford it, for the return of common sense in our world. So I might sit down and just get really goofy one day and just do a ransom note for the return of common sense. You could do a ransom note for the return of Amelia Earhart. You could do, I don't know, like, your imagination is the limit. But pretty much, I think I've already decided that mine is going to be the return of common sense. I really want common sense to return to the world. I think we've lost our collective freaking minds, and I want it back. I really do. The $5 million or teddy bear gets it. There you go. See, it really, the only limit of any of this is honestly your imagination. Nobody's going to grade it. I like to do stuff that makes me laugh, you know, like, yeah, just use your imagination and come up with crazy stuff that will make you laugh. Because your laughing is more important than mine. I probably won't ever see it unless you choose to share it on Instagram or use the hashtag. But I think that's part of the fun, too, is sharing with the FIBS, you know, because, like, you guys know what Dee Dee and I do, or Kathy Arbor, or anybody else. But we never get to see what some of you guys do. I mean, I have to say, some of us, when they finally broke down and started showing their art, I was shocked at the talent we have in this group. We don't often get to see it. Well, there you go. I just looked over in chat, and there's some big jerk in there. Now, some big jerk, hi, big jerk, by the way. Common sense, I want common dollars. Common dollars would be awesome, too. But some big jerk, if you didn't follow him on Instagram or no, he's amazing comic book artist. Go look at his work. So that's why I try and come up with things to interact with you guys, so I can see what you're doing, because I never get to see that. But I know we share interests because you come and hang out here, and why would you do that if you didn't care about arts or crafts or something like that? right? So that's why I encourage everybody. And don't be bashful. I mean, there are some artists in the world that have made big bucks on art that I look at and go, no, nobody gave millions of dollars for that. Yes, and Big Jerk does have a YouTube channel too, which I didn't know about until Dee Dee said something this morning, which I will promptly go search out later today. So, yeah, I think we're all here to support each other, so just don't be full. Nobody's gonna, well, I'd hope to God nobody would be cruel or mean. I felt kind of bad because the other day, Elmaris, I don't know if she's here today, hi Marie, had posted some of her Zentangle on YouTube, on Instagram, and she's doing an amazing job. And I don't think she's done it before. And so when I was looking at her work, she'd done an amazing job, but I thought, you know what? If she would shade that just slightly more, I think she'd like it a lot better. It would give it depth. And so I didn't mind making a friendly suggestion. She can tell me to go pound sand, honestly, and that would not hurt my feelings if she did. But yeah, I mean, then you can get feedback and truly interact over what our common interest is and why we all hang out together. Otherwise, it's stupid. I could be binge watching some porn on Netflix. Well, Linda, I'm glad that this is the first time and that you're finding the group friendly. I think we are really friendly. It's pretty much a low stress, no judgment kind of group. I think we all just support each other in our endeavors and share ideas, and Dee Dee's the best about that. I mean, Dee Dee will definitely spark your creative juices. She is so good at. And I try and do stuff where everybody can do it and have some measure of success. Or try things that you've never done before. But try and make it, so you don't feel overwhelmed or intimidated by what you can or can't do or what you might enjoy. Because one thing I know for certain, as we get older, every one of us needs a hobby, something to do in our free time that we enjoy, that fills up our time and makes us feel accomplished somehow. And art, in my opinion, is amazing. Crafts, same thing. Thanks, Dee Dee. Is that the New Year's Eve streamathon? Okay, did I get everything? There was a couple things I was going to do. I wanted to find a dark green. I'm kind of shading some of these because they're larger than they were in the when I put 2 letters. So I'm trying to show a little bit of shading. Maybe I'll need purple for this one. So they'll look a little bit different than the ones where the elements were a little bit smaller. So I'm glad you found us, Linda. It's a good group of women. Well, and men. Some big jerk is a cool guy. He'll make you laugh, for sure. But the group is largely women. And I don't know why, because guys are artists too. I like the little bit bigger where I can do a little bit more shading and stuff like that. Makes it look very, very cool. I don't know what I've done with my dark green fine tip. Maybe I used it all up and have never replaced it. That's kind of what I suspect. Oh well. I use the blue instead. What the heck? Alright. Because I can. Come on, pen. At this point, making changes like this can be kind of dangerous. I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll work out fine. Okay, so I kind of made it look like that. The long part of that L there kind of looks like a tube now. Hard to tell on the camera, but yep, that's it. Come on, camera. Alright, I've only got 30 minutes left, so I think I'm going to call it a day. For those of you who did, I'm going to write on the back here. So this is Lisa, my eclectic life. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. This was Sherry Habing, I think that's how you pronounce the last name. She is in Canada, I know. So it may take me a little bit longer to get the international ones out because I used all of my international postage stamps for Christmas cards. From your lips to God's ears, common sense. Isn't that the truth, Barb? Okay, and this is Barb, chicken pot pie. And this was, the very first one. Let me think. Oh, Leanne. So I better have an email from each of you. Means I better get 4 emails. It's great to have the streamers back again. Oh, you mean a lot of us took time off during the holidays? Because I'm going to say, where'd we go? I didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. There was something I was going to say, but now I can't think of it. But anything, yeah, the internationals, I'm going to have to run to the post office to get international postage. So there's that. Yeah, see, I didn't even keep track of who was streaming or who wasn't over the holidays. So anyway, this is the book I was working out of if you came late. It's a very cool book. Very, very cool. I did just basic shapes, no big deal to it. The Scavenger Hunt will be posted, the whole list. There'll be 100 on it. I will have a Google Doc available when I stream New Year's Eve night, and I'm on from 11:30 Eastern to 1:30 Eastern, which is the midnight hour. Well, I guess for the East Coast and Central Time Zone. So by the time I'm done, rather than yelling cheers, I'll be yelling cheese because I'll be drinking scotch and water. So thanks for coming, you guys. Any of you who want to swap art for the scavenger hunt, get a hold of each other, or you can always contact me. Is there a deadline to finish the hunt? In the past, Dart, I've given 3 months. So March 30th or 31st, I don't know if there's 30 or 31 days, but then April 1st or the first time I stream after that day is when I will pick the winner. And how I do that is I put everybody who has contacted me and said they finished, I put them on a list and number it. Then I go to random.org and I pick, 1 through, if there's 25 people, 1 through 25, and let random.org pick a number. And then I always try and have a prize that's worth having, whether it's a journal. Last year it was some watercolors. So yeah. So I don't know what the prize will be this year. I'll try and make it something that that would be worth having, because I'm gonna work your butt off if I have anything to do with it. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Congratulations to the 4 who got their initials in Dangles. I love doing this. I could do this every stream, honestly, because it's just like playing for me. So be kind to each other, and I look forward to seeing you. Today's the 20th. So it's Thursday. I guess I'll be seeing you again. So go have some fun, you guys. Make sure you email me. And I love you. See you. Bye.